it's hard, I don't know, maybe.
I'll hold it. How's that? Okay. Jim Combs, 923 Winifred Road, Terminal, Maryland. I'm going to give you sort of a little break because that's a clarification on your code home rule legislation on the 7 or 10% down to 7%. Does that automatically apply to all municipalities, or do they have to enact their own? They have to enact their own. Okay, I just want to make clarify because I heard conversation before that whatever the county did would apply to them. So, okay, I'll take that up at another venue. I look at the three of you. I've known all of you for many years. I'm 63 and a half years old. Most people know that I retired last week. I'm back here full time. I've known Sheriff Goode for a long time. But I have to say, and I go back to sort of what Bill Valentine was talking about, whether the paper got it right or wrong, doesn't matter. And I think the correct statement was, there is a crisis in public safety. Now, all public officials I know, whether they're the president on down to the county commission, everybody says public safety is our #1 priority. Well, I think this crisis in public safety, quite frankly, has been caused by the three of you. I think you're really not doing it. Whether you like it or not, and as I understand, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there is a chain of command. Somebody said to me back here a while ago about the military and chain of command. You are the county commissioners. Sheriff Goode is the sheriff. He does not work for the county commissioners. He's a state official. You're right. You have an obligation to look at the budget and try to work it out. And I think that's where you need to go back. And if you need to have a forum of public citizens to work with that, fine. I think your plan of execution was obviously wrong. And I ask, please, step back, take a deep breath, think about where you're going, think about the public input you're getting today, which is what you should have thought before you made these drastic decisions, in my opinion, and start over. It's not too late to do that. I think that's where you need to go. And I have one other comment which is related, but it's more of a clarification, and maybe Attorney Rudd could address this, because I've addressed this issue of Public Information Act with the city, as many of you know, for some time. Now I've read the act. I've got a copy of it at home. And the act is very clear when it says, I have a right to walk into any government agency and request, for example, minutes of this meeting. And if they are readily available, I do not have to tell you who I am, why I want them, where I live, or anything else. If they are readily available, they are to be given to me immediately. The 30-day rule only comes into effect if you have to do research. I'm quoting the law now, I'm pretty sure. If you have to do research to find out that information. Information related to salaries shouldn't be much research. It should be readily available by somebody in the office. But that's what I believe the Public Information Act says. Attorney Rudd, I'd like a clarification.
You're essentially correct, Mr. Combs. Actually, the Freedom of Information Act relates to documents. So if a document is readily available, such as a budget, such as minutes, such as audits, yes, they would be provided. But if it is information that someone has to go to some other public document to get the information, such as what is the salary of Joe Smith who works in the roads department, obviously that is research, even though you might say in layman's terms it's readily available. The document's not readily available. So if in fact this information was readily available for example, if you come in and say what's the salary, and there is in fact a document that lists the salary of all the employees, yes, you can be handed that document. You're correct.
So it's getting a semantics then, because what you're saying is if I come in and ask for the document showing all the salaries, I can get it right away.
Absolutely.
If I ask you to do research, it takes 30 days. So
actually, that's not exactly accurate either. We have up to 30 days. If that information can be provided in 5 days, we are to provide it to you, and we certainly would.
Well, I'm hopeful that's the case, because I can tell you that hasn't been the case with the other entity that I deal with.
I understand.
They utilize this. They require everybody to give their name, address, and everything for every single thing they want, which is not what the law says.
I agree with you, and we also have on should have, each department has a list of documents that are readily available so that when somebody comes in, there is no issue. So if you went to Jerry's office, finance office, they will have copies of audits, they will have copies of budgets, other documents that they keep on a regular basis. You could walk in and get them that day.
Again, I ask Dale, Jim, Bob, think about it. Think about what the citizens are saying to you.
Thank you, Jim Donovan.